Hello. Oh my god. I've been meaning to do this video for the last 4 months, and I'm finally getting to it. I think I'm gonna divide this into 3 parts. The first one just being me, second one regarding photography, and the third one being my decision to move to LA. I didn't know that was a hot topic, but I got so many questions about that, so we'll do that today. How do you pronounce your name? Where are you from? My name is Yewon. It's like saying Yeawon, or according to my portfolio, it rhymes with Raekwon and Jaekwon. I say I'm from Northern Virginia because that's where I spent most of my time growing up, but I was born in Korea, South. What is your favorite coffee order? I've always been a cold brew person, but my philosophy recently has been that if I know how to make it at home, I'm not gonna order it. But because I know how to make basic coffee at home, that's no longer my go-to order. It depends on the place I go to and the city that it is in, but I'll either do an espresso tonic or a hot oat latte, especially if I'm in New York. I don't know why, it just hits different. What are you into lately? Are you currently knitting anything? I'm working on a vest. What am I into? So if you started watching my videos because of YouTube and because of your interest in photography, welcome, happy to have you here. I had a blog in college. I had to make a little online journal for a class of mine, and then I ended up talking a lot of shit about fashion, and it blew up. It blew up to the point where I was getting invited to fly out for New York Fashion Week. A big chunk of my followers on Instagram probably came from that era, and I've been kind of exploring that idea of doing something outside of photography. Maybe going back to talking about fashion or life in general, because a lot of my followers and I grew up together. I've been putting myself out there on the internet for 13, 14 years now. We spent a lot of our late teens and 20s together, and I want to be able to kind of support them, be there for them, even when we're a little older. So I've been exploring that. So that's what I'm into right now. I'm thinking a lot about creating a second YouTube channel to kind of foster that community there. How did you start running? I met someone on Instagram, and that person introduced me to a running community. And then on the very first day of my first run, I signed up for a full marathon. So in a way, it was more of a commitment thing because I signed up for the marathon and I told people I'm running it. So I just kind of had to start running. Did I hate it? No, I liked it a lot. I still do. I don't know if I love it. I still haven't felt that thing called runner's high. But yeah. How did you get into photography? My dad always had his film Minolta on him. Every time we traveled or even at home, I grew up watching him take pictures. It was really good. My mom has all the pictures. I should ask her to send me some. And when I was in high school, I just had this weird desire to get a camera. I think because I watched my parents taking pictures all the time, I wanted to do something like that. But instead of film, I wanted a digital camera, which ended up becoming my very first big purchase of my life, which was a Canon 30D that I had for, I want to say 5 to 6 years. And yeah, when I graduated from college, I bought the Canon 5D Mark II, which hands down, best camera I have ever used in my life. What inspires you to create? I have a lot of questions regarding inspiration or who my favorite photographer is. To answer the very last question, I don't have a favorite photographer. I don't know if that's a good answer, but I just don't. In terms of inspiration, a lot of people I know say, oh, this movie, this book, this song. For me, it's all the other creators out there. And they don't necessarily have to be photographers. And in the beginning, because I myself was in that position recently with this YouTube channel or in the past with Instagram, but starting something new is so scary. You don't know if your first video is gonna flop. You don't know if you're gonna reach 1,000 subscribers or followers in the first month, because there are so many short form videos and posts that talk about, in 2 months, I gained 100,000 Instagram followers. And every time we see something like that, we feel like that's the goal we need to have. Like we need to earn that amount of followers and that amount of... My watch just said I hit my step goals today, but I was sitting down. Those posts just make us feel like we have to also meet those numbers, and if we don't, we're failing. So a lot of my friends started their creator journey recently, and they all talked about that. They say, I'm gonna give myself 3 months, and after 3 months, they didn't really see the result they wanted, so they quit. But those who actually still push themselves to make something, I'm inspired by them. A friend of mine recently started a podcast. That's so scary. You don't know what's gonna happen. But at the same time, if that's what you're passionate about, if that's what you wanna do it. And that is just my unlimited source of inspiration right there. Does the X100V overheat shooting video? Yes, it does. I've tried 2 videos with the camera and I've used it as a webcam for my meetings a few times. It heats up so fast. I stopped using the video feature. Preferences between fixed and interchangeable lens cameras. As someone who's been a big fan of prime lenses, and as an owner of 2 fixed lens cameras, I think you know my answer there. How do you color grade your photos? If you are talking about YouTube, I have 2 videos on my settings. In terms of Instagram, I have about 20 Lightroom presets that I made, and I just use them. I also sometimes use VSCO for editing, and I made a reel about that, so I'll link that in the description below. Favorite city to take pictures of? Ooh, New York, number 1, hands down. And number 2, although it's been a while, Tokyo. I love Japan. I simply learned Japanese in high school so I can travel there and not be a hassle to anyone. Now that I think I have my own style of photography, I would love to go back to Tokyo and recreate some of the images, take some new ones as well. Who do you go for film development? I go to Gold 1 Hour in K-Town like everyone else out there. And in San Francisco, because somebody asked, I used to go to PhotoWorks. Favorite photo you've ever taken? What is the weirdest thing you've ever done to get a shot? There's a picture of a street that I took with my phone on Instagram, and this has been my favorite picture ever since. In terms of the weirdest thing I've ever done to get a shot, if you are familiar with the subway metro system in Chicago, also known as the L, on certain lines, you have these suspended bridges that connect both platforms. And there's this one station that has a good view of the Trump Tower. On this rainy day at night at like 10 p.m., right before my shoot with Nike in the morning, I remember leaning against the handrail and I tried to take a picture, but my phone slipped out of my hand. So the phone fell on the tracks and a train ran over it. I can show you a sample image of what that looks like because I've taken that picture so many times during my time in Chicago. Was it worth it? Not really, but it happened. How to get into photography as a complete beginner? This is a pretty vague answer, but I'm gonna tell you to take pictures of anything and everything on anything and everything. And this includes your phone, a potato, she shoots on Nikon, disposable camera, and so much more. And I'm saying this because when people think about getting into photography, a lot of people think they need an actual camera, whether it be a DSLR, mirrorless, but in reality, your phone is with you all the time and you know how to control your phone camera in general. And your phone camera is kind of better than some cameras out there. So why not use what you have in front of you, that you have with you all the time, figure out what you like taking pictures of, and go from there. If you want to stick with mobile photography, that's great. That's what I've been doing on Instagram for the last 12 years. Or if you decide to get a DSLR because you want to get into portraits or you want to get into urban cityscapes, there are so many options out there. There are so many good resources, websites, videos, and whatnot. You have a lot of options in terms of educating yourself. So I say just start taking pictures of anything and find what you like, what you don't like, and go from there. Rather than just getting a camera because your favorite creator told you to get it or because some website told you that it's the best camera you can get this year and realizing you don't like the camera because it's too heavy, it's too big, or you just don't like taking pictures. If a place is crowded, do you still take the photo? I feel shy in busy cafes. I do. And the thing about me is that I'm not shy. I rarely get shy. I actually can't remember the last time I got shy. And if I notice people looking at me because I'm trying to take a picture with my phone or with my camera, my favorite thing to do, if you're taking a picture of something with your phone, pretend like you're looking at your phone in selfie mode, kind of fix your hair while actually taking a picture of the place. It always works. With both my cameras, because I'm able to control them from my phone, I need something to hold on to. I hold on to my puzzle right here. But I pretend like I'm kind of resting it on my face while pointing at something or someone and then take it from my phone. But honestly, if you know what you want to take pictures of, just go for it. Which one do you like better, digital or film? In terms of taking pictures, I prefer digital, but for sentimental values, I prefer film. How have you evolved since your move to LA? What's been your biggest area of growth? So two things, I got a vlogging camera, which I'm filming this thing on. And I got this because I want to start documenting not documenting my life, but I want to share a little more things outside of Instagram and photography. And I think I'm more open to doing that despite the fact that I've been very anti-vlog, is because I'm able to really be myself in LA. I haven't been myself in SF as much because it's kind of limited there. COVID happened right after I moved. I ended up working from home because the office was closed. I wasn't really being myself. I couldn't go outside to hang out with friends, meet new people, take a lot of pictures. But in LA, the city itself is a lot bigger, and because of that, there are more people going to a lot of new places with them, experiencing new things. And through that, I found myself. I found the person I was when I lived in New York, because I think New York was a time where I really became myself, like the weird ass crazy whatever person. And because of that, that really allowed me to express myself through photography, through words with my friends and other people. So I think that's the biggest growth I've had. And to kind of answer another question along with this one, do you think you're gonna stay in LA for good, or are you gonna move to a different city? I wanna give LA a few more years. Do I see myself settling here? It depends on where my life takes me, but my ultimate goal is to do the bi-coastal living, where you get to stay in LA for a little bit and then you go back to New York for a little bit and so on. That's my dream right now. That's my ultimate goal. What is your favorite cafe in LA? Canyon has been my favorite place since they opened. I go there at least once a week. They don't even have Wi-Fi, but I always bring my work laptop and stay there for a few hours. What is your favorite thing to photograph in LA? I'll get back to you on that. How are you liking LA versus San Francisco? I think I kind of answered this earlier. I like them both. In terms of how I'm liking it, I hope this answers it. In LA, I say, hey, I'm gonna go home and rest. Whereas in San Francisco, I used to say, I'm gonna go back to my apartment. So I think that really answers the question. I think that's about it. I had a lot of repeated questions, so I didn't go through every single one of them. If you have any other questions, let me know. Ooh, a question I get all the time. The most asked question on Instagram. What do you take your Instagram pictures with? My phone. It's an iPhone 13 Pro Max. So think about what I said about your phone possibly being better than other cameras out there, because your phone camera takes really good pictures.